Do you have rogue wireless devices inside your network? You might. Is there a way to detect them? There might be. Let's go inside and figure it out.
Secure Ninja.
Hi everyone, Andrew from Secure Ninja again. We're here in Colorado Springs. We're at the Rocky Mountain Cyberspace Symposium, and I'm talking to Brian from Bastille Networks. Hello Brian, how are you doing?
Nice to meet you, Andrew.
Listen, we're going to talk a little bit about detecting rogue wireless devices in networks. So first of all, how big of a problem do you think it is?
Well, I'll tell you since I've been at Bastille, I've gotten a lot of insights into this. Rogue access devices are popping up everywhere. Everything from people compromising laptops to prevent adding the devices like these little USB chargers that are now enabled with microchips that can now be used as keystroke loggers. They can be used to provide access for an adversary for command and control into your infrastructure. So once it's plugged into your network, they have full access and also can wirelessly get into your environment.
Yeah, so they could have a keylogger, they can install malware on an unsuspecting device, and then signal home to the command and control center, here's your passwords. Really important we use two-factor authentication, of course.
Yeah, of course, if possible, but the problem with using two-factor authentication, once you plug this thing into your device and you logged into your laptop or device, you've bypassed that. It now has direct access to all the data on that device.
So your exfiltration, if you've compromised the device, you've got root access,
yes,
you can get around it. Yeah, absolutely. Very good point. Okay. So what are the other threats that you see, and where are these devices being used, these sniffing devices to sniff out these rogue wireless devices?
So if I understand your question, I mean, the threat is everywhere. We see them in C-suites where people are concerned about losing IP data. We see them in secure facilities, research and development centers, data centers. Imagine that you're sending all of your corporate data to a data center, and now somebody has access to that. And these data centers hold data from multiple organizations. So people are trying to get access into those data centers because it's a treasure trove of information. We're seeing them in correctional facilities where people are using devices to be able to still maintain control of their criminal organizations while behind prison bars. And then also, we've seen some interest from a more of a humanitarian or safety perspective. We have discussions where people where schools wanting to track the locations of students in case of, a fire or a natural disaster or some type of emergency situation. So being able to track people using RF, being able to get their locations.
Wow, that's fascinating. So how does it all work? You're going to use some kind of triangulation to detect these devices. But first of all, how do you know the trusted or known devices? How do you mark them versus an untrusted? Supposing you're trying to keep untrusted devices out. And then technically, how does it work behind the scenes?
Okay, so upfront, there's multiple parts to that question. So upfront, how do you know what's authorized, not authorized? Well, from a Bastille perspective, when we work with our customers, they tell us the list of devices that are authorized to be in those locations. So we import those in, and we fingerprint them. Basically, we get MAC addresses of them. We get RINZs and TINZs. We get all kinds of information about that device. So basically, we've created almost a DNA of that particular device, loaded it into our system. So the next time we see it, it's recognized as authorized. We display it on the screen as either green, or we don't display it at all because they don't want to see those. Now, the second part of this, how do we actually track those devices, whether it's triangulation or not? At Bastille, we have an RF sensor that is based upon a bunch of software-defined radios that can detect anything from 25 megahertz all the way up to 6 gigahertz. And then determine whether or not it's Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, cellular, Zigbee, Z-Wave, whatever it is. But how we actually locate those, right? We have multiple sensors in the facility. Sorry if I'm picking it up and down. I have multiple sensors within the facility, probably between 3 to 5 to help us do our location. The more sensors we have, I usually suggest people have a minimum of 5. And we do a capability called multilateration, i.e. the sensors talk to each other. So my sensor one would say, hey, I see Andrew coming from this direction and his signal strength is this. Sensor 2 would say, I see him coming from a different direction and it's a weaker signal strength. Sensor 3 would do the same thing. Based upon that, then I can come to a understanding of the location of Andrew. So the more sensors that see you, the better I can locate. So that's why I usually suggest 5, so I can get you somewhere within 1 meter accuracy, i.e. 3 feet. I can say, hey, Andrew's in the 2nd floor, room 234 in the northwest corner, versus just saying Andrew is in the 2nd floor, room 234. I'm trying to get you as close as possible so that you can make a determination what you need to do about that device.
Yeah, and to your point about the cables, these Wi-Fi enabled cables, if somebody snuck this in and suddenly somebody just plugs it in and starts charging their phone, it's going to pop up on the screen and you've got the bad guy,
and
hopefully.
Hopefully it'll pop up and we'll tell you exactly where it is. Then you can go determine, what compromise you potentially had and then what to do about it.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really interesting, Brian. Thanks so much for talking to us.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe and to like. I'm Andrew Howard from SecureNinjaTV. See you again soon.